Hi everyone, welcome back to another Middle Age Gaming podcast. We had a bit of a delay while we were arguing about the mechanics of today's episode because today is special. We're doing an entirely new format of the show, so if you like it, don't forget to hit us up on social media. You can find Antoine, Phil, and myself on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you can find us. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. So, a bunch of new game trailers have been coming out, E3, Summer Game Fest. We've grabbed some of those ones that are interesting to us individually, Antoine, Phil, Adam, and myself. Okay, and I just keep hearing sound in the background. That's distracting. Anyway, we're gonna watch the show. Adam's up first, then the usual order, Antoine, and then Phil, and then myself. And we're gonna talk about it, give you some gut reactions because we have hopefully not watched any of these, or at least watched a part and not watched the whole thing. And let's take it away. So, Adam, what is your first game?
So my first game is going to be Somerville. It kind of grabbed my attention because I was looking for trailers that I hadn't already seen, and coincidentally, I'd accidentally already watched. Was it Starfield and the Final Fantasy Origins? So I just went through a list of. It just had a bunch of the thumbnails for the videos, and this one kind of caught me with the art style. And I read the quick description, and it said a family trying to survive an alien apocalypse. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So I thought, I'll just list that out. So and that was that.
Okay, so this the way this is gonna work is because we were arguing about this before. I'm gonna put the trailer for you guys to watch, and the guys are gonna click the trailers individually, and we're just gonna go from there. Okay, so bear with us if you're on the podcast. This is gonna be edited out, so you're not gonna hear what I'm saying right now. Sorry about that. But everyone else, enjoy, and let's come back in about a minute or 2 minutes or so, just depending on the trailer. I've forgotten how long this is. All right, so I am starting the video in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm done too.
Yep.
All right, so Mr. Great, thoughts?
Yeah, no, it looks interesting to me. I kind of enjoy the minimalistic art style. That's something that I'm always kind of into. I one thing I'm always thinking about games is like, sometimes you go for these super realistic graphics. Sometimes it's better just to go with stylized something. You can save a lot of processing power. Uh, but yeah, I looked up a little bit on it, I'll admit, even though I didn't see the trailer. And they did say it's very reminiscent of the game Limbo, if you've played that. So there's not any dialogue in the story. It's all just kind of gleaned off of following their story. But yeah, it definitely looks like something that I would pick up and kind of play as one of my palate cleansers after a big game. And it doesn't look like it'll be very long. So I think it'll be a nice, quick, fun little thing. So I'm actually interested.
All right, Phil, Antoine, what do you guys think?
I go first.
Okay, sure. I should have just said one more
Well,
name.
that's all right. Well,
I really hope it's well made because I see a lot of copycat games like this since the big success of Nightmares, one and
Mm.
two, fantastic game. Inside, Limbo, there have been a lot of these games, very pretty, very dark themed. I really think this is gonna be a great twist. Let's say the alien family. We saw that it's not always the same point of view in the game, so I think it could be very good, but I'm waiting to see because I watched the E3. I tried to not watch too many trailers, but there was a lot of games which were either a copy of Animal Crossing or this kind of game like Inside or Little Nightmares. So definitely that's something which for me is like wow, post-apocalyptic games, very grim, very dark, seem very looks very nice. As you said, I think it must be like 10, 15-hour games, 15-hour maybe tops, even if you collect all the collectibles and stuff. So I think it's really interesting, and I want to see where it's gonna go. So definitely I'm gonna Steam and see what kind of reviews it gets before I buy it, of course.
So not a day
Always,
one
never
for
day
him to
one,
buy.
never, never. Never. Or if it's day one, if I play the beta first on early access.
Alright, Phil, hit us.
Not my. I'm going to speak a bit louder because after editing the videos recently, I've noticed this microphone is rubbish. Like I promise, I will have a better microphone for next week. I don't need to shout and seem like some weirdo in the house shouting at the computer. But these are not my type of games. But my missus loves them. She will play things like Unfinished Swan and Limbo. And I was trying to think of the other one where you play a dog type thing. Artistic and beautiful, but not really my genre of games. I personally wouldn't buy it. I'm afraid. So I'm out on this one.
All right. So I'm gonna kind of agree with Phil as to my reaction. I was like, looks interesting. I like the art style, like Phil said, does look kind of cool, but this looks like a game where, again, first impressions is like, oh my god, you made a mistake, dead. Oh my god, you went the wrong way, dead. Oh my god, alien cube held and hit you on the ground from the sky. Oh, you're dead. And then after the second time I died in like 5 minutes, I'd just be like, so sorry, delete.
Okay, no, honestly, find yourself a good YouTuber, a good streamer, and watch Inside. The point of these games is all about the story. Even if they don't talk and all the atmosphere, the story is really good. And if it's a well-made game, even if you die, it's all right. You just want to see what's coming after.
True, but Adam knows I'm not a. I give story like I play a story game maybe one game every 2 years. The rest of the time on my keyboard, space, skip. God damn it, I don't care.
Yeah, he's always skipping the story. What was it? We were watching my Final Fantasy VII remake stream, and you even asked, "Does this have a skip option?"
Oh no! Go play Counter Strike.
Oh my god, that is a wound to my heart. All right, very good. I like. I mean, it's interesting. I'm still gonna keep an eye out for it and probably add this to my Steam wish and see what happens. Maybe there are things I don't know. All right, so we're gonna move on to Antoine's fantastic game. Antoine, you want to give us a 20, 30-second intro what this game is?
No, 2 seconds. Just to let you know, guys, I haven't watched the trailer of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 just because of this podcast. So I want to make it very quick so I can watch it. Because I love the first game. Like it's one of the best, if not the best Zelda I ever played. I'm still gonna keep Link's Awakening because that's my childhood game and I would always put it first. But still, this was a fantastic game and I just can't wait to play number 2. And I'm super hyped for this game. And I couldn't see the trailer for a full week. So please, can I watch now?
I see a problem sometimes, Antoine. Your 2 seconds equate to a real time 1 minute.
French time.
Yeah,
French time.
I'm chatty and exactly I'm French. So lucky for you, I'm not Italian. I would make the whole show myself.
Italian people don't hate us.
What is it with the French and
Love you.
Italians?
We love them. They're great people.
Alright, so I posted the second trailer for Breath of the Wild 2. Alright, I am letting everyone watch together in 3, 2, 1.
I'm good.
Me too. All right, Anton, take it away. Why do I not hear? Do you guys hear Anton?
I cannot hear him now.
Oh.
Okay, better now?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
back.
Yeah, sorry, I always cut off my mic when I watch the trailer just in case. So I was just saying that I see he looks like Ganon is pissed. We'll see. Of course, I see that I'm super hyped. It looks a bit of at first when I started the video, I said, "Oh, it's actually Skyward Sword 2 instead of Breath of the Wild." Because like he's falling down with all these little islands, so it looks like it's gonna be very much in the air compared to the first one. I was hoping some co-op with Zelda. Looks like she's falling right away, so I guess she's gonna be the princess to rescue as always. So a bit disappointing there. We'll see. Yeah, I really wanted to have some co-op Zelda and Link this time, but we'll see. I don't think it's gonna happen. What else? It looks as pretty. I think same engine as the first one, so graphically, I guess it will be the same as the first one. Yeah, look good. I'm just waiting on the twist to see. Again, you have a castle cut out from the rest of the country. So we'll see what the story about. I really hope there's a good story about that, because otherwise it just would be a remake of the first one. So what do you guys think?
All right, Phil.
Again, I'm afraid this is a swing and a miss for me. When it comes to my Switch, I'm all about co-op games, so I'm looking at things like Trine, Super Smash, Mario Party, Nine Parchments, Mario Kart. Just to hijack this as well, I think there's supposed to be a new Mario Party that I saw released, which looks way better. But each to their own. Not really my type of game. It looks good, but it's just not something that I would pick up because I don't tend to play my Switch that way.
All right, Adam.
I don't have a Switch, but Breath of the Wild was always one of the ones I wanted to have a Switch for. I had an opportunity to have one, but gave it to a friend because she had 2 daughters, and I felt it'd be better to let the kids have a Switch. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering because Zelda usually the stories are independent. So is this one? So usually we don't see like Legend of Zelda blah 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 2. Usually it kind of resets the whole world. Is this one supposed to be a direct sequel or a prequel, or is it not related? It's just the same style.
So. No, I believe, because they made a prequel already of 100 years before Breath of the Wild, with the 4 warriors, which gonna get spoilers. So anyway, there was a prequel, there was Breath of the Wild, this one's gonna be 2. I believe it's directly following Breath of the Wild 1, exactly like, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. It's, directly following,
Yeah.
It's not in the same world because we go into the Mask Forest and all, but yeah, no, it's going to be a direct sequel.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they could just recycle the world then and save themselves a lot of production time by doing that, or if it's going to be in a different kingdom or something.
That'd be disappointing. Really? No, they can't recycle the world.
Because like in Majora's Mask, I mean, obviously they go to a whole new world, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, but you saw all the islands, right? So maybe some kind of Ganon maybe destroys the world and everything blew up into small islands in the sky. And we saw it before, and
I saw a lot of people were kind of hoping that this one doesn't have weapon destruction. So pretty much the only comment I've seen on it. And the Erhu at the end of the trailer kind of threw me off. I was like, what's with this Chinese instrument at the very end? Like, it's kind of a weird tag onto the end there, but yeah, no, it definitely looks interesting. I like the way the magic works and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to play Breath of the Wild.
His powers look cool.
Maybe I'll have to wait for
Liquify or something.
Pro or something. Yeah, there was a thing with the water or something. So yeah, hopefully they'll get the new Switch Pro or whatever, and I'll have to check that one out.
That's exactly my why I'm scared. I feel because it was exactly the same as Breath of the Wild. They were waiting for the Switch to come out to say first game of the Switch, Breath of the Wild, since it's supposed to be 2022, and the Switch Pro is supposed to be 2022. I feel that they're gonna wait for the Pro to get out and say, first game of the Pro, Breath of the Wild, and it's not retro compatible with the Switch.
But I mean,
afraid they do that.
But the original Breath of the Wild could be played on the Wii U as well as the Switch, right? So I mean, they could probably do a cross. Yeah, the original one you could play Wii U. In fact, I saw some people saying that the Wii U version was actually better, even though the Wii U was apparently not popular. I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U. I don't know, Korean. You looking that up? You look like you have something on your face, or you look like you have an expression on your face.
No. Um, I was just
Okay,
thinking about what
I
you
know
guys
that
were
they will
saying.
anyway. So,
Yeah. So what's your take?
My take is I played Breath of the Wild like when I got my Switch when I went to Japan, and I think the first game I bought was Breath of the Wild. Yes, and I bought an
the
amiibo
man
as
of
well.
culture.
But I am with Phil on this. It was like a disappointing game for me. Uh,
Oh God.
I'm sorry, man. It was just because I mean, as I've gotten older, and Adam's listened to me talk about this on the podcast so much, so this is just gonna be rehashing old stuff. I don't have time for like running around, and the amount of time just spent like walking around in Zelda is just infuriating. I play games in 1 hour sessions. I rarely play for longer, except now we're in the pandemic. I get a little bit more time to play, but and there was like a lot of puzzles and stuff I had to Google, which is just a freaking waste of time for I believe a middle-aged gamer. I'm like, I don't want to
That's
think.
the whole point of the game.
I'm so
It's
excited.
always been about puzzles.
I know, and I was excited to try it, and the combat was cool, but it was just too much thinking. I want to go back to Skyrim of just click, 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 smash, 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 die, die, die. I like it.
Skyrim is running around all the time.
But I mean, there was more combat and more. I mean, less thinking and.
Skyrim combat is boring. Come on.
Oh, but what I will say about the trailer, my reaction is, they have a HDR on there. I don't know if you guys noticed that high dynamic range, in the visuals, and they had particle effects. So this makes me think this is a Switch Pro trailer.
But it says Switch at the
why-
beginning.
I know, but the visuals themselves, there's like, oh my God, what is that even called? In some of the PC options, right, you can see things for like when the light reflects off the vegetation on the
Ray
grass.
tracing?
Not ray tracing. There's a particular English word for that because I don't.
So like the ambient light, basically.
Something like that. I don't know. But you're looking at the trailer, the visuals are far like the grass in Breath of the Wild is bland. This grass reflects the light. So maybe it is ray tracing, like Antoine said. And this makes me think this is a Switch Pro trailer. And what Antoine said is this is going to be a Switch Pro version.
Ah, very likely. I just
So-
hope it's
so I looked up-
cross-platform.
I looked up Breath of the Wild. It is on the Wii U. So this one, I would say it probably would come to both. I don't think it would be strictly for Switch Pro.
I really hope so, otherwise they lose me as a customer. Stop buying another console just on.
I'm gonna buy a
Otherwise, I would buy
Switch
a
Pro when it
PS5.
comes out. That thing is, I mean, I'd love that idea for 1080p or hopefully 4K handheld gaming. God, I'd cut out my kidney and sell it right now.
So we'll be 3 next year at the same time.
Alright, we should move on to full game. I'm really curious about this because I've heard a lot about this game, but never played games like this actually. So, Phil, why don't you introduce us to it?
Which one is it?
Elden Ring.
That's your game.
I actually saw this trailer pre E3 actually.
Which one are we talking about?
Elden Ring.
Elden Rings. Okay, right. Sorry. Yeah, I actually randomly just picked the two that looked the best from an E3 list of things that were games a bit outside of my comfort zone or that I didn't really know a whole lot about. So I didn't pick things that I kind of thought that I would get anyway. So this one caught my eye because it's George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones fame, working with Miyazaki. Hope I didn't massacre the name there, from Armored Core and the Soul series. And it is... I read a couple of other bits. I've not watched the trailer, so let's watch the trailer and then see if it correlates to the information that I kind of got from people commenting about it.
Okay, wonderful. All right, everyone, have a look at the trailer in 3, 2, 1.
The tarnished will soon return, guided by grace once lost. The Golden Order is broken to its core.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition. Someone must extinguish thy flame.
They will fight, and they will die. In an unending curse. For how else is a champion or a lord to be born?
Whoa. Well. A lowly tarnished. Playing as a lord. I command thee now!
Brandish the Elden Ring. For all of us.
Huh. Hot damn!
Yeah, what a trailer. For those of you on the podcast, unfortunately, that you'll have to Google that or go on YouTube and watch the trailer. It is a pretty damn good trailer, I have to say. And kind of what your hopes would be high with having a good development team behind it. Like I said, I've done some research because it was on the radar in 2019, and then there's been pretty much nothing until this year when they released the trailer and coming out early next year. And they've said it's going to be open world. It's going to have entire custom character generation for it. There's going to be no mass NPC cities. They said it's going to be dungeon ruins, and you've got the solo option or you've got the co-op. So, I mean, for me, this is a home run, because it's everything that I want. I want something that's fantasy. I like something group play. You can run around doing dungeons, killing monsters, fighting together, and yeah, I think everything from the trailer looked pretty decent, and I actually got some idea of the gameplay, which, yeah, pretty decent. Yeah, I'm all for that. What do you guys think?
All right, Adam.
So yeah, it's kind of a weird, because I was reading an interview with George R.R. Martin on it, and he said it was a sequel to Dark Souls, but then later on admitted that he had never played Dark Souls and had no idea what the story of Dark Souls was, and therefore it's hard to verify that this is a sequel to something that he has no idea what he's writing about. So it's definitely a Soulsborne game from what people are saying. So it's going to have that really high tier difficulty. I've always wanted to play one. I never have. I actually have. Blood? Bloodborne. I have Bloodborne because it was free on PlayStation Plus. I've never gotten around to it. I guess I'll have to play that at some point and see if I actually enjoy this genre or not. But yeah, it looks interesting. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering what it's going to be like, because I mean, it is open world, but without, like, say, towns and these sort of things. It's yeah, is it going to just be basically like it seems like From Software is really cashing in on that was it the Soulsborne cash cow there, and they just kind of like are starting to become kind of one note in a way. So I don't know. it'll be interesting to see how it separates itself. Because yeah, on the one hand, George R.R. Martin's writing it, so it should have some deep story. But the thing about the Soulsborne games is they always have really deep story, but it's never directly presented to you. It's all in the lore and the background and all that. So it'll be interesting to see how much of this is actually a story and how much of it is just George R.R. Martin doing world building, but not actually writing a real story to go with characters and all that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
All right, Antoine?
Yeah, well, as you said, From Software is riding the wave of this kind of games, and this trailer really felt like Sekiro-like, but with a Viking brand. So it's a new mode for Skyrim. It's a Skyrim Witcher edition, which is great. I mean, both of them are great. So it's a Skyrim Witcher edition in the world of Sekiro. I don't know if you played Sekiro or something, but it sounds like it's very same kind of universe with a big Yggdrasil, big tree in the background. So yeah, absolutely, that sounds fun, and that sounds absolutely not for me. It's far too hard. So hard, these kind of games. So I understand if you love it, and I'm definitely gonna watch Let's Play on it on some of the streamers which are way more gifted than me on this kind of game. But me, no. I'm just gonna be like, you died. Oh shit, you died again. You died. Okay, leave it. Rage quit.
What's the difference between that and Breath of the Wild, man? Because Breath of the Wild, you die pretty often. Or unless you didn't die.
Different.
How is that different?
Zelda, you don't die unless you don't need to be extremely skilled to stay alive.
Oh,
On
God.
the Soulborne, you need to be good. You
Okay.
need to be really good.
That's a good point.
Zelda,
That's a good point.
Zelda, a kid can play it and finish it.
Oh my God.
Soulborne, give it to a kid and it's gonna be a, I'm 10 years old. I don't want a trauma. Thank you.
They
You want
also
to
have
play video games. Play this. No.
They also have the mechanic in the Soulsborne games where when you die, you actually lose some progress, basically. So they have the bonfires or something of that equivalent, and everything when you go to a bonfire, you kind of bank everything you have. But then when you go out, you acquire experience or you acquire whatever you need, and if you die, you kind of lose that, but you can kind of go back out. It's kind of roguelike in that regard, where you can kind of you can lose stuff.
Didn't
I'm
they
not quite
tone
sure.
that down with Sekiro?
Huh? I've never
I
played
saw-
Sekiro. I'm not sure how they did it.
I
in
thought
Sekiro.
they toned that down because it was kind of annoying. Like
Yeah,
it's,
so
it's hard. It's hard enough. So if you have to lose stuff, but maybe not. I don't know. I just know that it's not that kind of stuff I like in the gameplay.
Okay, my thoughts, I'm on Antoine on this is, so you already heard me say, I'm not a difficulty person. It just cuts down on my valuable gaming time. But the trailer is fantastic. The details on the stone fragments and the dragon with the 4 wings. And so the links for all these trailers will be in the show notes. So if you are listening to the podcast, just you minimize if you're on a big screen and you click on one of the links if you're on Android. If you're on iOS, unfortunately, you got to complain to Apple why we can't link stuff in iOS stuff. So that is Apple's fault. Apple sucks.
I'll co-op with you, Phil.
We should get these two. Get it anyway. We'll go with 4 of us. We'll do 4-player co-op and we'll just laugh as you guys die.
Does it have 4-player?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, so I thought it was 2 only. Yeah.
I mean,
Like them after
I'd be
play.
down for that. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing this kind of game with people, but I would never play this by myself.
He would just stand in the back.
You guys first.
Go.
Maybe
Tank
an
for me.
archer.
But this looks to me looks like a console seller, like something that just takes advantage of the PlayStation 5 hardware in the
Oh, yeah.
absolutely, because damn,
It's not exclusive though, is it?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
On YouTube it
think
says PlayStation 5 only, or PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Think
thought it
it's
was
actually
multiplayer.
well.
Good. Get rid of the paupers who don't have a PS5.
See, that's like half of the screen over here, PS5, half us normal people over here.
Stay on PC.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next game, which is my game, which is Slime Rancher 2. If you are a show fan or you're one of the 206 people who like us on Facebook, we're waiting to get up to 1,000 now. You would have seen me play Slime Rancher 1, which was really, really cool. I forgot why I stopped playing it, but really fun game. This is the second one. Casual farming game. If you've seen me play Ooblets this past week along the same line, I unfortunately have watched 30 seconds of this trailer because I was just like, oh, so pretty. And then I'm like, no, you said you wouldn't do that. And then so I stopped. So, Slime Rancher trailer is in Google Chats. I'm going to launch it now in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Wow. I didn't get to see the end. I mean, I didn't get to see the end before. I was like, oh my god, that is just absolutely beautiful. If you guys saw me,
because it started buffering.
if you guys saw me play this, the original Slime Rancher was just like very bare colors. They took the whole idea of being like in the outback of kind of like Australia with just rocky colors and grays and browns and blacks, and this has like grass and colors and all the slimes and the upgraded graphical detail. I'm like, pre-order it now. But no, yeah, so same people who made Slime Rancher 1, Monomi Park, publisher Monomi Park as well, which I believe is a very small studio. Unfortunately, exclusive to Xbox X, Xbox Series S, and PC, of course, because Microsoft said anything coming to Xbox is going to be on PC as well. 2022, I imagine middle of next year. I would imagine summertime as well. I love this. Very casual, very easygoing, very relaxing game. I think this expands upon the first game. All the things that I was like, I wish this was more colorful. It's more colorful. I wish there were more slimes. There are more slimes. I wish it looked better. It looks better. And it looks like there are new biomes and stuff. You can go underwater this time. In the original game, there was water, but you couldn't go under it. And there looks like more ways to fight the bad slimes. That looks cool too. And I'd imagine this is just basically Slime Rancher 1 plus 25 things for every aspect of the game, and you're done. So I like it. I'm definitely, like I said, gonna pre-order it as well, because it is more along the kinds of games I like to play these days to sort of like help me relax after a long day of work. Antoine, what about you? What do you think?
Looks nice. Definitely, I'm not gonna play this one. I'm gonna watch you play. I'm much more down for Sandrock, which is gonna be, already in early access, I guess. So
Yes.
just, like my eyes kind of popped out, just after the Elden Ring, watching so many colors. I was like, oh, oh my god. Very, very different feeling. It looks nice. It looks cute. Yeah, that's kind of the take I have on it. It's nice and cute and relaxing. So that's quite it. I really like to play for the story. Doesn't look like there's much of it in there.
Not a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, it's more like a sandbox universe. It's still very nice and very relaxing, and I think it's a very nice game. Just not for me right away.
No problem. All right, Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, no, watching your original play or your play of the original, one of the biggest things that I thought was like, oh, I would really wouldn't want to play this game. And the reason being was it was just the environment just kind of looked kind of bland to me. So I was kind of like, oh, it's just this rocky canyon. And so seeing this, I was like, oh, okay, now I think I could definitely get into the second one a lot easier. So I definitely like the added color to it and the different biomes, and it definitely looks more dynamic. So yeah, it looks good to me.
Nice. What about you, Phil? I don't think this is your kind of game.
Oh, the negative critique. I don't know. Is this for drunk stoners? I'm not sure. It seems to be a psychedelic game based on as much color and running around performing simple things such as.
That's exactly how it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
Kriyan is a simple being.
I am.
No,
I am. No, no, no. Getting older, I have become more simple, without a doubt. Alright, so keep an eye out for that if you're a Slime Rancher fan like I am. We're moving on to Adam's second game, which is War Tales.
Yeah.
Do you want to fill us in, Adam?
Oh, sorry. What am I doing? I'm like, okay, let's push play. No, so basically, this is a strategy RPG, which is basically what I saw, and then I was like, oh, okay, I like strategy RPGs, so I want to kind of look at it. And it said that it starts off as kind of this realistic, realistic world, but as you go further into it, it kind of starts unveiling some sort of fantasy elements and in part of the world and whatnot. So just seeing that it was an SRPG, I was like, all right, I love those things, and I really am interested anytime a new one comes out. So I thought I'll check this one out.
Okay, so as usual, trailers and Google Chats, I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
100 years have passed since the rise of the Edoran Empire and its untimely demise following the Great Plague. In these troubled times of quarreling factions and outlaws roaming the land, work is not scarce for a band of mercenaries. The stories of this age have been recorded. They are known as the War Tales.
Take it away, sir.
So it's weird. It looks like Divinity if it was made in like 1999. It's kind of the graphics are okay, but they definitely look very stiff. It reminds me of kind of the old the original Diablo or Diablo 2 or Baldur's Gate kind of thing. I mean, they're 3D graphics, but just the movements look very almost robotic and stiff. But graphics aside, it looks kind of reminiscent of Divinity in the fact that you have this party, you're roaming the world, and when you go into combat, it becomes this kind of strategy thing. I'd be interested to see what kind of customization options you have, because the combat did look a little bit bland. It mostly just looked like, oh, I have a swing. So you didn't seem to have like the big explosive, like really cool powers that you have in something like Divinity. So it'll be something that I keep an eye on, but I don't know if it would actually be something I'd ultimately play. I can get past the old-fashioned aesthetic. I can convince myself in my brain, oh, it's a retro style, it's fine. But kind of if the combat is basically just like, oh, swing, and it doesn't have like that kind of really customizable, you can do a whole bunch of options things, I might have to skip it. So
All right, Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, 20 years ago I might have bought it. I might give it a try. That turn-based game, I think, I don't know, not quite as interesting for me nowadays. I kind of like a game a little bit faster paced, I think.
All right, Antoine. Your microphone.
Thank you. Kind of the same mind as you two. Does it turn like into a tactical when you go into combat, a bit like XCOM, or it's more like turn
Yeah,
like,
it's like XCOM.
yeah, so there's definitely room for improvement. The trailer doesn't show the whole game, so maybe it's a bit more exciting than that. I like the Divinity kind of part of the gameplay, although maybe I don't know, is it early access or something? Because it really doesn't look very good.
Yeah, it looks really like early,
Yeah,
right?
no, I don't know. Maybe they downgraded for the E3. Aren't you supposed to upgrade it when you show the trailer? I don't know. Mm, on the fence on this one. It looks cool. I mean, the gameplay wise, the world looks nice as well. They didn't look for the tail for the game very far. Wartail. Okay, fair enough. Point for him. Yeah, imagination. Mm, yeah, on the fence. I don't think I'll be a customer for this one.
Oh my god, I think this is the best trailer I've seen so far.
Positivity, that's good.
No, it's not. Don't you guys like in the late 90s there was a series of games called Myth, The
Yeah, of
Fallen.
course.
Yeah, strategy, somewhat RPG games. This reminds me just of that, and like that game was like freaking hard, but it was like reminds me of this, and this looks so cool. Like the idea of walking around and the turn-based XCOM battles. I love XCOM as well. So like to me, this is. I'm thinking of ranking the trailers. This is above Slime Rancher 2 for me because that's how much I like it. I'm like, this is like for my feelings right now. I'm like, I've got to buy this.
Like I said, it'll really for me. I can get past the kind of the janky graphics. I'm not like I said with the other one. Graphics aren't super big deal for me, but for me, it's really going to come down to the combat. Like, what kind of options do you have? Like, if there are a lot of options that you can do and you have a lot of control, like in Divinity, it doesn't have to be like flashy magic, but if there's a lot of options, like okay, you can sneak and try to backstab a guy, or you can go for as long as there are abilities and that's something like that, I think I could really enjoy it. But from what they showed, it's really just got the spear in there, stab, and that's all they showed. So yeah, I'd have to see how the combat goes. Other than that, I mean, everything looks fine for me. It's just I'd really want to see that level, like having more options, because I feel like when there's more options, there's more strategy, and when there's more strategy, I enjoy it a lot more.
Cool.
It's good that everybody has their own taste.
Yeah.
This is the one game for everyone around here.
All right, so we're gonna try and squeeze Antoine and Phil in. So we're gonna move straight into Antoine's game, Survival Machine. Do you want to fill us in a little, Antoine?
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer. It just sounded good on paper. Some kind of base building on a moving machine. So very much. I don't know if you watched the game like Mortal Engines. Not a game, sorry, the movie. The movie was crap, but the universe looked very cool. And I was thinking a base building on a moving machine while apparently fighting off zombies. Why not?
Apparently.
Okay, all right. So you're moving on your machine while collecting limited resource. You will have limited space, so a very likely die and retry kind of management game. Sounded cool on paper, so I really want to see what it's gonna. I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know what about the graphics will look like. But I don't think it came from a very big studio, so I don't expect super big graphics. I don't know if it was an indie game or something.
Okay, so I'm starting the trailer in Survival Machine. 3, 2, 1. Hmm. All right, Anton, do you want to take it away?
Very much what I just said before. That's looked cool. The graphics are not, it's not the Elden Ring, but looks cute enough to play. I just don't like the way the zombies are disintegrating, when you kill them. But apart from that, yeah, it looks really nice. A bit part of survival in the base building mechanics. That really looks nice. What do you think?
All right, Phil, what do you think?
Fortnite meets Minecraft.
Ooh,
From the
good
looks?
summary.
I don't know.
Looks better than Minecraft.
Yeah, blended with.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know.
not a
Maybe.
battle royale kind of game.
Yeah, maybe I'd have to watch it. I'd have to see. I don't quite understand. Like, is it single player? Are you supposed to be on that thing? Or are
No,
you
single
with other
player.
people?
No, single player.
Oh, okay. That's less
Oh,
interesting for me. I don't know.
I
I think if you're on
don't.
there together with a group of people and you're all building random
Oh,
things and
that might be. Yeah, might be a cooperation on it.
Yeah, they
That'd be
showed
nice.
two characters definitely. They had the guy character and there was the girl fighting too.
Yeah, but that maybe just a trailer.
It could be an
Yeah.
AI, yeah.
yeah, maybe I'd be interested if it's co-op. If it's not co-op, then I'd probably pass.
Adam?
Co-op or single player? I'm gonna pull a Korean on this one and say that this is actually my favorite trailer so far. This one looks really interesting to me. Yeah, no, it reminds me of what Fortnite was supposed to be with Save the World, and this kind of like versus the environment kind of thing, and then Fortnite went this other direction and became this battle royale thing. But this looks like what Fortnite was originally supposed to be, and it looks really interesting to me. I actually would definitely check this out.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah, good pick. Yeah.
I'm with Adam on this. I kind of like not a big fan of this style of graphics, but the gameplay looks interesting. And like Antoine mentioned, Mortal Engines, which was just on Netflix the other day actually, and the idea of that looks cool. And building bases. There's one with a skyship currently on Steam. An indie studio made that where you're sort of flying a skyship and you get to build bases and other stuff, and your skyship expands out. You got to worry about the weight, and I like this idea of it being on the ground and the graphic style and
Play the
this
game after the show.
and the zombies and that sort of stuff. So definitely very cool. Another thing to keep an eye out. Phil, you want to tell us about Babylon's Fall?
Yeah, okay, so this is my last attempt because I thought I'd go with something beautiful and picturesque, and it uses, I was checking something called Brushwork Filter Technology for its cinematic beauty, also by Square Enix, who are in my good books at the moment because even though I don't really like Outriders, I liked how they dealt with it. It's in open beta already. It is a live service game, so let's have a look at the trailer, I suppose.
Okay, starting the trailer for Babylon's Fall in 3, 2, 1.
Built over 1,000 years, it was meant to be a tower of dreams. But for 1,000 more, it was seen as a tower of ruin. Persevering through fire and ice and the coldest of winds, eventually the tower became a symbol of unrelenting ambition. That tower's name is Babylon.
Does the savior of Neo Babylon stand among us? Let's find out without further ado.
If I'm to die, then I'll die for hope, for what little hope there may be.
boundaries of our subjective reality. Believe only what you see, and you're like to end up seeing only what you believe.
Not but two paths lie ahead. Ascend to the heaven above the tower, or fall like this one now before you. Now begins its tale of both hope and despair.
All right, Phil, take it away.
Okay, I mean, you're probably getting a theme of the type of games that I like. It's pretty similar to the looks of Elden Rings in the co-op up to 4 players. As you can see from the trailers, I don't know if you noticed, there's almost like a shadow of weapons behind, and that's because you can kind of equip 4 weapons at the same time, and you can kind of switch between them. So yeah, if you're an archer, then you might have different bows with different abilities, and you can just immediately switch between those weapons. It seems to have like something a bit unique about it, and it's all about the different weapons that you equip, having the different bonuses and the different features. And yeah, man, I kind of like the idea. It looks like it's Final Fantasy-ish, which you'd expect with the amazing score and the music. It looks to be as over the top and ridiculous as maybe Final Fantasy games are. Yeah, on every little thing. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe some of our Final Fantasy experts will be interested in that, and maybe we can get some group play on the go.
All right, Antoine, you're next.
First part of the video, I was like, "Oh, is that Warhammer? Is that Skavens? Under the tower, something like this." Yeah, okay. It really looks like Square Enix attempt at Soul games, and From Software is looking at them and say, "Try again." It really looked like a under Elden Ring for me. Like the Soul game cooperation looks good, but is it just me or it was kind of ugly? The graphics were so to me, especially if you put the Elden Ring trailer next to it. Again, it's a Soul game, so not too much into it. We'll see.
All right, Adam.
What is up with that voice acting?
That one guy, right? Yeah, that seemed like the oddest choice of voices and music, and it was I was like, what is going on here with the opera and
this extremely pretentious voice?
I'd noticed the same thing as Antoine. The graphics kind of reminded me of EverQuest way back in the 90s in a way. But like I said, graphics to me aren't that big of a deal. I wasn't really quite sure. Like watching it, I didn't really know. Like, is this supposed to be one of these really kind of hard games like Dark Souls or that sort of thing, or is this supposed to be like a kind of not? I mean, they're all 3D, but I mean like a 3D
action RPG.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be like an action
Final?
RPG or kind of like a Baldur's Gate thing, but in real time as opposed to strategy? I wasn't really quite sure where they were going with it, and yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the story at all. That was very things. And as far as what Phil was saying with being kind of Final Fantasy-esque, it does remind me a lot of the older Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy IV. The original one. It looked graphically, not graphically only, but stylistically, it does look a lot like Final Fantasy Origins. So it does kind of have that kind of traditional, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI. We never saw them in 3D, but when they did do the video sequences, when they adapted it for the PlayStation and stuff, we kind of got an idea of what these things would look like in 3D, and it does have that aesthetic to it. So yeah, it's the kind of thing where, like, again, I'd want to see more. I like the idea of what Phil said with the being able to swap weapons. That sounds really interesting to me. So this would definitely be the kind of thing that I'd want to keep an eye on and look at. But as of right now, it's kind of like, this is a back burner kind of thing for me.
Okay. Yeah, well, exactly what Adam said. I like the idea of switching weapons. I'm not much into live service games so much anymore, but I
it's
think
live service. Oh, never mind. Forget what I said.
like this is the game I would kind of consider if I was playing with other people and we'd find a time to play like with these guys. If we find a mutually acceptable time, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, the graphics make sense. You know, hardware stuff is still kind of hard to find. Upgrading your PC, pandemic everywhere, so it kind of makes sense. You don't want to make a graphically high fidelity live service game and limit the pool of players who have GTX 3060s and up, or equivalent series cards, you know, somewhere else. So it kind of makes sense. Again, not really for me, but I'd play it with somebody else. Okay, so guys, quick question because we are over time. We'll go with, let's go Antoine, Phil, Adam. Best trailer and worst trailer. Antoine first.
Best trailer, Zelda, of course. No questions there. That's all right. I've seen Zelda, but the Elden Ring, even though I know that I'm not gonna play the Elden Ring, trailer was really beautiful. So it goes against my heart, but I'm gonna put the Elden Ring first, and then last, I think the one we just saw.
Okay.
I'm really not interested into it. It's just, yeah. As far as the Elden Ring could be the best trailer, this one is the worst for me.
Okay.
I'm really not hyped at all.
Phil, best and worst.
Man, I knew you were going to come around to me. Let me think. I would probably go. Yeah, I have to admit, Elden Ring sold me on the game. I wasn't sure on the stuff that I'd read about it, and I was a bit like. Then I saw Elden Ring and Babylon's Fall next to each other, and I was like, for me, they'd be kind of comparative games. They'd be the similar. Like, I'd want to play that co-op dungeon-based crawler game with some friends online. Which one am I going to go for? And I was like, I'm not really going to pay for the live service, and yeah, I think that's going to be a bit. I'm not sure that's going to be a success. I have to admit. Yeah, who knows? As for the worst trailer, man, I don't know. I don't think there was necessarily a worst trailer. I mean, there was games that just I wasn't gonna pick. I'm probably never gonna play anyway. So I don't know. I could pick from any of those 3 or 4 of them. In that they haven't convinced me to buy the game, but
Sure.
I don't think they could have put a trailer up that would have made me buy the game anyway.
Okay. All right, Adam.
Going just purely off of not my interest of the games, but just the trailers themselves, I would have to say the best one's probably Elden Ring, just because it's the most, it's got the most epicness to it. Yeah, everything's big, everything's flashy, everything's, you're just kind of like, whoa, dragons, whoa, giants, guy throwing a guy in the air and stabbing him straight up.
Oh, that was cool.
I think in terms of trailers, I think Elden Ring's got it nailed down. As far as for me, in terms of worst trailer, I would probably go with War Tales, just because I feel like there was nothing particularly flashy or exciting of it. It just kind of looked like they were like, let's just take some clips and show you what it is. But they didn't really, they weren't like, look at how flashy this is. Look at all this cool stuff. It was more like, look at these guys sitting in a camp. Look at these guys walking across the wilderness. Look at this man stab another man. It wasn't very flashy, and it was just kind of like undersold to me. So I would probably say War Tales was probably the worst in terms of trailers.
Okay. I'm gonna agree with the rest of the guys. If it comes to PC, I'll 90% chance pick it up. Elden Ring, best. My worst trailer would be Babylon's Fall. Just because it's kind of a weird look. Yeah. No, I don't know why.
It did look like Dragon Age Origins. In a way.
Downgraded.
All right.
Elden Ring is coming to Windows.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Phil.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's gonna be Steam wishlisted or Epic Store wishlisted, whichever one it comes to. Okay, so we're out of time on this. We usually talk about next week's episode and what you guys are streaming. Keep an eye out for everyone streaming this week as usual. Last 30-second thoughts, gentlemen. We'll go anybody.
Go anybody.
Let us know what you thought of E3. I know a lot of people thought it was disappointing this year, mostly not because there was anything bad shown, but just because there just wasn't anything particularly mind-blowing like the reveal of Final Fantasy Remake or Fallout 4 coming in 2 months. There wasn't any exciting news. Most of these things we're seeing are 1 or 2 years off. So let us know what you thought of E3. Did you like it? Did you think it was a good showing? Did you think it was kind of boring? Or leave us comments.
All right, Antoine, Phil.
I know we keep talking about it. We talked about it every week. It's almost like a countdown for Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. I saw a terrible review that I posted to the guys, and it was some guy on YouTube, and he was just like, "Why this is a truly, truly awful game," with a whole load of video to back up his points about how ridiculous the game was. Regardless of that, I said to Korean if he was going to get it, and he said he's definitely going to get it.
Korean's already bought it.
Korean's already bought it. So,
Again, the second time.
Comes out here tomorrow. So I will buy that on my laptop and hopefully try and work out a time when Korean wants to play it, maybe, and try and get some co-op streaming, maybe. If he
Sure.
wants. Yeah.
All right, Antoine.
So that's something to look forward to.
No, nothing for me. I'm good for now.
Okay.
He's tired.
Oh yeah. Let's end it there.
All right, so thanks everyone for watching, for stopping by. I think I might try to cut this and put this up on YouTube at some point if I can find the time to do it, because I think we had some like really cool reactions, really cool videos. I think people would be interested in this. So on the podcast, thanks again. Keep an eye out on our social media for next week's topic. We'll figure that out later. And we will see you guys next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. roughly. Depends what discussion we have going on before the show starts. All right, and we will see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.